guys right now, you seem so light and happy and normal, but in the movie, that physicality you guys brought to the film was like intense for each of you. How was it going home every day after you just shot this thing?
Oh man. I mean, it was, I love shooting horror movies because you're running and there's fake blood and there's dirt and you're actually like really getting to do all of these crazy things. But you do go home at the end of the day and you're like, is this a real bruise or is this something that the makeup artist put on me? And it's kind of hard to tell the difference because you just end up completely like physically in it, physically exhausted, emotionally exhausted, just the whole thing.
How about for you, Bart?
Yeah, I would say same to echo Jill. It's you really want to feel those real feelings. Like the only time I feel like I'm not giving a fake performance is like if I feel it. If I feel it's like the things you don't really want to feel, right, Jill? It's like,
oh my gosh,
it was it's ugly. Playing a character. I mean, especially for me, like that's not the guy I want to be, but in order to really feel those things, you want to really feel them. So it was exhausting. It was like emotionally draining. And so yeah, you get home, you're like, yeah, take a shower.
Speaking of taking a shower, how is it working with blood? Because with blood, there's continuity factors. It has all these different things that happen on set. So starting with you, Bart, how about the blood being on you and having to work with blood?
Yeah, thanks, Jill, for all the blood. That's your fault.
You're welcome.
Anytime there's like anything there's like difficult or that's really hard or blood everywhere, I always look at Jill and go, "You wrote this, Jill. You did this to me." It gets a little. It gets sticky. It gets pretty uncomfortable, but we had a really terrific team that made things look so good. They were so great that it was a pleasure to work with them. And they're really consistent. I at one point they Jill tears up my face pretty good. You'll have to see why or how in the movie, but I got some pretty good scars, and it looked amazing. Like they did a really terrific job.
The film is cool to watch. I mean, Chris and Travis did a great job. And how was it working with those two guys? They're not beginners, but they're new on the scene. And how was it working with these guys?
I mean, Chris and Travis are great. I feel like the two of them share a brain. I think there's a lot of, there's a reason that they work together so well. They really know how to play off each other, and they really, I think, have the same vision that they're working towards. There would be times on set where Chris would come over and give me a note, and I swear 2 minutes later, Travis would come over and give like the exact same note. And it's like, okay, you guys, like, that you're like completely on the same path here with this movie.
Yes, I agree. And I think it's because they've done so much homework. Like they did a lot of prep before they shot this movie, that they were really on the same page. And kudos and appreciation for that, for them doing that. Because when we get on set, they know the references, they know the tone, they know exactly what they're looking for in a scene. So if one has to step away, would deal with the problem, because they're both the producers as well. So they're putting out all the fires and organizing the next scene and doing all the business. So one of them could just step in with the creative, and they know exactly what they want to get out of the scene. And they did seem like pretty seamless and flawless how they can bounce back and forth.
How is it working on this this is like an 80% arc film, mostly on one location. So is that easier to kind of, you're going to be in the same place all the time and work with each other in this one place? How is that?
Yeah, I mean, it's nice because it does start to feel like home. With a film like this, you're shooting on such a tight schedule anyways, that it is a short shoot. But we're going to the same place every day. So it starts to feel a little bit routine. It starts to feel a little bit like you are like with a family in a home. And that was really nice.
Okay, Jill and Bart, this is what I want to get in deeper on your acting skills. I see Joe, and I saw you there's some actors, you watch a movie and you're like, okay, he stopped acting. He kind of came down a little bit. But I was watching you guys, that the intensity never fell off. You were always like, fuck, shit, damn, like it just wouldn't stop on your face. Like, so where did you go to be like in pure suffrage?
I mean, having written it, it was incredibly exciting to actually be on set and getting to live out these moments that, you know, for so long as a writer, you see it all playing out in your head, and to actually be there and the set and Bart and, you know, the other actors and everything coming together, and there's blood and there's dirt, and it kind of just throws you into it. There were definitely a lot of scenes where I would actually tell like the sound guy, like, I'm gonna scream like right before the take, just to like really get that energy out there. So there was a lot of like just actually like physically just screaming and crying and just throwing it all out there and having, oh my gosh, like the time of my life.
You too, Bart. Your forehead, your face was just like, you know, you were just, you know, there, but what, you know, I love you.
Well, it's really nice to do a scene with someone that wrote the project or wrote the script. So when Jill shows up, it's been in her for, you know, more than months. It's been in there for, you know, ever since she conceived the script. So it's, her character is so well thought out, and she's considered all these moments and is so present and available in these scenes that it was a treat for me. I show up and she's there, she's in it. So it's it was a real treat for me to work with not only a great actress, but someone that wrote the character that she's living. So I could just show up and kind of, you know, be with her. But yeah, I think we were both like, we took it very serious, and between scenes we didn't chat or joke. We were really in it and trying to get to the place where we really served these moments. So we kept ourselves in kind of a miserable state, wouldn't you say, Jill?
Yeah, I think so. And what was so great about working with Bart too is that from the first time we read the script together, things were just clicking. Like we didn't have to rehearse a lot or like really like it was just clicking. Like we just kind of worked together and fell into these parts together in such a natural way that it was just such a joy.
You know, like when you watch some movies like Bruce Willis in Die Hard and Keanu Reeves in The Matrix, no one else could have played them. And this is the same thing with you guys on this film. Nobody else could have been what you guys were as a couple.
Wow, that's
Thank
high
you.
praise. Thank you. Jeez.
Yeah.
It is. I was thinking it halfway through. I go, you guys had the total chemistry. You guys bounced off each other. You guys sort of like, it was like a 2-on-2 basketball game. You two were like tough, like awesome.
Oh,
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Jill, I will say that, Jill obviously created this character for herself, which is, feels very personal, and she has this great connection with, but like it was almost like a gift. She wrote this character, Henry, and it's like, well, who's going to serve this character? And so like, I felt not only an honor to kind of be gifted that she put so much thought and work into, but like, appreciation for like her, her trusting me. And then I got to live up to like what she imagined. And so instead of trying to make choices, I just tried to get to that emotional place. And then hopefully she,
oh my God,
and we totally connected, right?
Yes. And Bart, I mean, he just brought, you had so much heart that you put into Henry, which I think was the real danger with that part, was that somebody would just kind of play the end of it. And you gave him heart and vulnerability and like truly broke my heart on set when we were shooting some of those scenes.
You know what I want, you guys? This is what I want. This is my wish. Tarantino kind of uses the same actors a lot. Deon Taylor, the director, he uses, I want to see you two again in another scenario in a film. That's how
I would love that. Absolutely.
You need to write another one.
Sign me up.
Okay. Jill, we gotta crack out that typewriter.
Start writing right now.
I'm in. I'd love to. It was an absolute pleasure. I'd love to do it again.
Hey, great talking to you guys. You guys were insane. And I'm gonna put the word out there. What a cool film to watch. It's a cult classic already.
Aww.
Thanks, Fernando.
Thank you.
All right, take care. Thank you.
Thanks, appreciate it.
All right.